Guess who's back? Back again. Hi, so it's been a while. Do you like my new model though? Look, don't I kinda just fit right in? Thank you, Mama, at Machiru. So you probably clicked into this thinking, damn, is this possible, and how? Well, I'm here to tell you everything I know. No gatekeeping in my sekai. It's 100% possible to tier with nothing but sheer determination and $20. I went into the solo, unplanned, gachaless, gemless, and to top it all off, with a weak-ass team. First of all, can we talk about how crazy this event was? Like, what happened here? I know Akito is popular, but I didn't think it was to the point where everyone cheered for him, then fell off the face of the earth. A 20 million plus point gap in the same group is crazy compared to how uniform Night Core's cutoffs were. Secondly, I have a bone to pick, or more like note to flick, with the VBS World Link cards. This set was absolute ass. They were done so dirty with those outfits. Tell me why some of them look worse than their defaults. Breakdown? Yeah, sure, over this glowdown. I literally paid to not pull on this banner, hence this Gachaless tier. Anyways, let's move on to random tips. If you didn't already know, World Link T100 cutoffs are several times more competitive compared to the marathon or cheerful carnivals of the focus character you're tiering for. It's at least double the amount of points in half the time. So if you're planning to tier for the T100 titles, you better be ready to clear your schedule, especially if you're going for the more popular characters. Not gonna lie, I skipped 2 days of class for this. I'm not going to recommend it, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Tiering is not a necessity, don't listen to me. Quick tip, if the character you're thinking of cheering for isn't the first one up in their group's World Link, you can observe the T100 cutoff for the previous character to better determine if you have the time and resources. I didn't plan to tier here since my original estimate for Toya's T100 would at least be 40 million points. But with the aftermath of Akito's chapter, I was betting that some tierers who were doing titles for multiple characters were either too tired or didn't have enough resources to continue, and that some people who were thinking of tiering got scared off by the previous cutoff. Crazy how I lucked out and ended up right at T100 with 7 million points less than expected. Shout out to all the Akito tierers who made this possible for me. Love you guys. One more thing I like to mention is to not base your estimate too heavily on the cutoffs for the Japanese server, since their character popularity is kinda different from ours. Like how Kohane's cutoff on the Japanese server was on par with Akito's, while she is the lowest one so far on EN. Alright, now it's time for T100 World Link predictions. Because the only math I like to do is for games. The next World Link will be Wonderland X Showtime, which will be on March 8th to March 20th. This was the most competitive World Link for the Japanese server, and I'm betting half a cheeseburger and both my kidneys that it's gonna be the same for us. The most popular group plus gorgeous cards and outfits. What more can I say? Predictions. I almost forgot this was about predictions. I'm thinking Rui's T100 would be around 50 million points, Nene at around 30 million, Emu at 40 million, and finally Tsukasa at 50 to 55 million. See, this time the two most popular chapters are split up and not back to back as it was for Akito and Toya. So I think we're going to have a strong start with Rui, then dip with Nene as the buffer, and have it pick back up with a strong finish for Tsukasa. After that, we have more Jumps World Link from May 9th to May 21st. I don't really have anything to say about this one. The outfits are really mid though. I'm putting Airi at around 35 to 40 million points, Haruka at 25 to 30 million, Shizuku at 30 to 35 million, and Minori at around 30 million. Then we have Leo Needs World Link from July 17th to July 29th. Our underrated queens. For the people who just want a cool title and don't care which character it is, listen up. This will probably be your best chance. I'm guessing Saki will be around 35 million, Onami and Shiho at 20 to 25 million, and Ichika at around 30 to 35 million. And for the final World Link so far, we have Virtual Singers from August 17th to August 29th. Reminder that there's 6 unit members instead of 4, which shortens each member's chapter from 72 hours to 48. So these titles will be the shortest duration of tiering needed, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be easier. To start off, we have Luca and Mako at around 15 to 20 million points, Rin at around 20 to 25 million, Len at around 25 million, and finally Kaito and Miku at around 25 to 30 million points. My estimates here are on the neutral side since it could be higher if more people wanted to tier since these are the shortest rolling chapters. But it could also be lower since Ian tends to focus more on Sekai characters rather than virtual singers. Whew, that was a lot to go through. Hopefully my predictions won't be too off, or that'll be awkward. Don't have too much trust in me though. Okay, now let's get into the stats. My team had a total of 447 event bonus and 224k talent, which I added to as the event went on. This is your sign to read the side stories, which I forgot about, and it cost me 10k talent, which is equal to like 10% event bonus. I have a big eye head, but clearly it's not being put to good use. Again, my team is really not ideal. I strongly advise not to tier with a team like this unless it's for a less popular character. A good T100 World Link team should have around 500% or more event bonus, and the higher the talent the better. Another really important thing is to have a lot of bonus energy items or gems stocked up. I used up a total of around 5210 energy from bonus energy items and 1.5k gems in just 72 hours of tiering. That's a lot. Remember when I mentioned paying not to pull? Yeah, this is where Colorful Plus Deluxe comes in. The autoplay bonus actually saved me. If I didn't get it, I would have A, not gotten T100 and you would never hear from me again. Or B, not have had any sleep for like 60 hours and probably die from gaming exhaustion, and you would also never hear from me again. But fear not, free to play players, T100 is definitely achievable without Colorful Plus. But I highly suggest at least getting 2 of the event cards while also having a support bonus of around 150%. Now, before I get into my tiering experience for this event, let's talk about solo tiering. It sucks. I did this mostly out of curiosity and for content of course, but if I were to do a high tier for myself, I probably would play with a tiering server like I've mentioned previously. Aside from people disconnecting a lot in general, what is with Ian's hate for tierers? I've met people in matches with names like I hate tierers, I block tierers, death to tierers, and the likes, who purposely wait out the whole time to choose a song, don't ready up, and disconnect once we get to the loading screen when there's a person with tiering in their name or when a tiering song gets chosen. Why are people acting this toxic in a damn rhythm game? When I'm playing co-op, tiering or not, I'll play whatever song is chosen. Hito Rainbow Envy, What's Up Pop, or a song I personally don't really like. It's whatever. I'll play on mute if I have to. If I really want to play a specific song, I'll just play it solo. It's not that big of a deal. Hell, if someone really hates the song chosen, why can't they just wait a few extra seconds to disconnect so the rest of the people who want to play get to? So because I was tiering solo, I chose Shinpaku Pairing, Nomad, and Zunda Party as my tiering songs, and only pulled out Lost and Found when I really had to, which was not much. I played Forlorn at least 3 times as much. Day 1. I was there the minute Toya's chapter started and was immediately hit with one of these after finishing the first song. I haven't seen one of these server disconnects in a while, I said. I was then shot 57 times. This day was short since I was still hesitating if I should tier or not, so I only did 50 matches, 37 5 energy and 13 10 energy, which was around 3.5 hours of tiering. Then I put on 3 energy, Hatsune Creation Myth, and went to sleep. Huge mistake, should have had it on 5. Don't try to cut corners on resources, I had to pay for this later. And I only got to use 70 autos this day cause, pro tip, kinda, not really. Well, I didn't know about this before, but if you set up autoplay before daily reset, it doesn't stop or use the counter from reset until you stop it yourself or it runs out. Also, I know I've been referring to this as a 3-day tier, like 72 hours and all, but here I'm just gonna say it's 4 days cause the way each chapter is spread out is more like a 4 days, 3 nights kind of situation. I did 4 challenge shows during this tier, so... Day 2. Still had autoplay on. Went to class, got home, then tiered for 11.5 hours. 199 matches, which would have been 201 if the server didn't disconnect everyone again after 2 of the songs. 148 of these were 5 energy matches, 2 7 energy, and 49 10 energy. Got to use all my autos this day, 58 3 energy and 41 5 energy. Again, should have just stuck with 5 energy. I am dumb, don't be me. Day 3. I woke up from 4 hours of sleep and realized I needed to lock in. Almost half the event was over and I was still around T110, so I had to resort to drastic measures. Skipping class. No, seriously, how the hell are other tiers attending class, or work, or both, and still be in T100?
Huh?
This day I tiered for 15 hours. What is life, if not to forsake it for a fictional character? Or, in my case, the word chill. I actually tiered to make a chill guy joke, / serious. With 227 matches, which would have been 230 if the server would just stop disconnecting after songs. I finally got a firm hold on T100. 99 autoplay used, 88 5 energy, and 11 10 energy. Day 4. Final day. Running on 3.5 hours of sleep, I tiered another 11 hours. Not gonna lie, I kinda slacked off this day. Tried to get some real life stuff done. Big mistake. I know I said watch out for end dash in my previous video, but I thought I was safe, okay? At my highest, I was at T89 and had like 1.6 million points more than T100. I greatly underestimated how intense the final hours would be. I was just chilling until around 2 hours before the event ended, where suddenly I was dropping through the ranks. Fast. It was at this moment I knew I fucked up. I dropped everything to tier. And this is when I met numerous anti-tierers along with actual tierers. It was hell. Half the time I was just sitting there watching them waste their time then disconnecting. I barely got to play like 6 songs in this hour. I've met anti-tierers in the past few days, but not nearly as much as in this 1 hour. It's like they're doing this on purpose. They probably are. So I had to switch to 10 energy solo Ebby for the final hour as I dropped from T93 to T98. I was playing as fast as I could. I spammed the hell out of my screen, but I still dropped from T98 to T100 in 30 minutes. My palms were sweaty, knees weak, mom spaghetti. My life flashed before my eyes. I was thinking, was all my tiering for nothing? Is this where my Project Sekai journey ends? But I just kept going. And to my relief, I was still at T100 for the final cutoff. Ended the final day with 125 co-op matches, 33 5 energy and 92 10 energy, 30 10 energy solo Ebbies, and 99 5 energy autoplays. And with that, my first T100 was completed. I slept peacefully for a whole 12 hours that night. So in conclusion, I tiered for a total of 41 hours out of 72, played a total of 631 matches, used a total of 367 autoplays, and used a total of 5,210 energy from bonus energy items and 1,500 crystals. Aside from impulse solo T100 tiering, which is obviously a bad idea by itself, I made a lot of mistakes. The most important ones being, don't choose long songs for World Link T100. Just stick with 5 energy for short songs. Don't rest when you can tier. You're never safe unless you're like 5 million points ahead of T100. Use 5 energy for autos. 5 energy. 3 isn't enough for World Link. So, despite all of that and being absolutely exhausted, this was a pretty fun experience. Would I do it again? Not anytime soon. Aside from being dirt poor now, I'm not rushing to tap notes for hours on end again. But surprisingly, I'm not burnt out from this. If there's anyone new to tiering, I'd recommend not going for something this high to begin with, since it's a lot to commit to. Try out T5000, T1000, or T500 first, and see how it goes from there. Alright, thanks for watching, and good luck on your future tiers.